Yeah, so today we are going to discuss about update sets, which is really important. Yeah, write it down. An update set is a group of configuration changes, group of configuration changes that can be moved from one instance to another. That can be moved from one instance to another. Full stop. I'll repeat again the same sentence. An update set is a group of configuration changes that can be moved from one instance to another. Full stop. Next line. This feature allows administrators this feature allows administrators to group a series of changes to group a series of changes into a named set and then move them as a unit move them as a unit move them as a unit to other systems for testing or deployment for testing or deployment. Full stop.
Can you repeat the last sentence?
Yeah, I will. This feature allows administrators to group a series of changes into a named set and then move them as a unit to other systems for testing or deployment. Move them as a unit to other systems for testing or deployment.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next line. Update set is an XML file. Update set is an XML file that contains list of configuration changes, comma, set of record details, comma, set of record details, set of record details, comma, set of implementations, etc. Set of implementations, etc. Okay. Next, write it down. Which configurations? Just keep it as a note, and under that, write it as like yes, yeah. There are, they are few configurations will not
Priyanka, it's few or new.
few FAW few configurations will not capture in update sets. Those are will not capture in update sets, comma. Those are users, user records, groups, groups, records, comma, schedule jobs, comma, plugins, etc. etc.
Priyanka, this is a complete list, or there are few other components as well which are not captured in the update sets?
These are complete stuff actually. There are few things. Okay, few in the sense is like maybe one or none, that's it. So this is enough for to understand and to work with. Users, groups, records, schedule jobs, plugins. Okay. Next, write it down. Ways to move updates. Let's keep it as like a subheading or note or anything. Ways to move update sets. First one, export XML. Second one, remote instance. Remote instance. Okay, so let us discuss this one by one. Update sets and what it is and how it will be and how we are going to capture this and how many types are there to do. Go ahead, and these things are like we are not able to do by using updates just from moving from one instance to another instance, right? So I'll go with like an another way to import this and to move to the other instance, so we'll discuss that as well. Okay, so now before going into this update sets, I just need to tell you something. Okay, so we do have like in different environments actually. So we have a dev environment test, which we can call it as an UAT, user acceptance test, and we do have like an prod is like nothing but production instance. In addition to this, we might have like a few more as well, pre-prod, etc. It depends on like in the organization which they maintain. It depends, but anyhow, dev, test, and prod is like in mandatory for every organization and every client. So if they just need to go ahead with like and keep the data in some other instance as well, they might take a few more instance permissions as well from ServiceNow. Okay, so now let's focus on like in what and all the things which we do in each and every instance, like an environment. First environment, so is nothing but dev instance. So dev instance here, developer is going to work on. Already I have discussed some, I guess, not sure for you or other batch. Okay, so dev is nothing but developer is going to work on. Okay, and then test is nothing but, so tester is going to work on. Okay, so tester will work here. Okay, and then in prod is nothing but the customers and the clients will work on. So simply end users. So mostly whoever working in like an IT sector, so they will definitely know about like in these platforms. Okay, not only for like in ServiceNow, so wherever it might be like in you are in a development project or in a testing project, like in some other projects as well. So you will understand what it is for sure, because you are supposed to work with like in these environments. Dev is nothing but developer instance where developer is going to work on. Test is nothing but tester is going to work on. Prod is nothing but end users or customers or clients will work on. Let's say I just got a requirement from the client. Okay, so say stating that, so to implement an application, let's say example, WhatsApp. That is also one application, right? One app. So client gave like an all the requirement, and developer is going to work that in a developer instance. And after the implementation is like and done, okay, according to the requirement, tester is going to test in a test environment. And then if testing everything is like and done and all the test cases got passed without any bugs, then we are going to move that into the production. Prod, we call it as a shortcut. Okay, so this whenever it is available in prod is nothing but end users, so that we are utilizing by installing from a app store or play store. So whenever it is available for the customers, then that is nothing but it is available for, it is there in a production instance. Okay, so whenever we are going to work with like in prod, we just need to be very careful. Even a single bug might cause us like a lot of business risk. So we just need to be very careful when we are working with production instance. Okay, so now let's get into like I told you, right, the developer, whenever this is like in 10, I'm tester is going to work with test instance and all. So let's say developer worked in test instance, then in developer instance, let's say 2 months or 50 days or 10 days, let's say example. 10 days he worked on one task or one specific functionality. Okay, so this 10 days of work should be moved to one instance to another instance, right? To test, to go to like a test instance. Okay, we just need to move from one instance to another instance. So whatever it might be, whenever I'm working with like in 10 days or 15 days or 30 days, is none, anything is fine. Okay, and whatever it might be, whatever the work which I did as a developer, I worked on, these 10 days of work should be moved to some other instance, so some tester can test my work. It's nothing but the development, the implementations, whatever which I did. So to do that, so to move from one instance to another instance, we are going to use update sets. Okay, so whatever the module you are working on, whatever the task might be, or else are you working in support project or development project, or it's none of the matter, whatever which we are working with like in the as a developer or anything. So we just need to be aware of update sets, because each and every work should be captured somewhere. That is nothing but we are going to capture in update sets. Okay, so simply I can say I just had like in one bag in my one room. There is like in two rooms. I need to shift kind of like in luggage from one room to other room. So I just need to collect that, pack that, and then need to secure in one bag or trolley or somewhere else, and need to carry that from one room to other room, right? In the same way, whatever the work which we did it. Okay, so that should be moved to dev instance to test or test to prod or enable directly, which we can go with like in dev to prod as well and test as well. We can do that, so but that is not a protocol. We just need to follow those steps of like in develop dev test and prod. In between we might have like in pre-prod as well before moving into the production. So one more kind of sanity kind of check or smoke test which we do by moving all the updates to pre-prod, and we'll check it. If still no bugs and everything is fine, then we will move it to like in production instance, and that is a go live which we call it. If the go live is like in done, then our task is like in done, my project is like in done. Okay, so that's how which we will say it as like in release as well. So release is coming as soon, so as in a few days. So we just need to work hard. We might heard like in these kind of words as well in social media or else anywhere else, right? So that's how which we work with like in developer instance, test and pre-prod and prod. Okay, so now let's go into like in what is update set and how we are going to capture the work and how we are going to move from one instance to another instance. So hope you're clear until now. Okay, so if not, raise your hand so that I can pause and I can explain it again. Okay, so now see, that is like an update set, right? So update set is something we are going to group configuration changes. Is nothing but whatever which we work on, whatever which we are going to implement it. So everything we are going to capture into the one service, update sets. That's what which we call it as like an grouping of configuration items that can be moved from one instance to another instance. Okay, so we are going to name update set with like in based on our requirement, and then moving from one instance to another instance after capturing. Okay, so that's what about like an update set is nothing but whatever the configurations, implementations or changes or customizations which I worked on, I in the sense here developer worked on, is going to move from dev environment to test, test to pre-prod or pre-prod to prod. Okay, so now this update set is nothing but this is the XML file of our work. So I'll show you how that looks like as well. So XML file, so I showed you already, I guess, how the XML look like. So here see, show XML of this record. This is a XML format of our records. So this is the thing which we are going to move from one instance to another instance. It will go one sit exactly with the existing table. Okay, so we'll check that as well. Let me go back. Okay, so that will be like an XML file, and these are the things which will not capture in some update sets in ServiceNow. And we have like another way to move these stuff as well from one instance to another instance except the plugins. Okay, so there are like in two ways. One is like an export XML. By exporting an XML we can go ahead, and then remote instance also we can do, but most suggested stuff thing is like a remote instance. Using a remote instance in your project is like a most suggested one. You can go with this one actually. Okay, so if we are in the same version, then we can suggest remote instance. Let's say dev environment and test environment is in the same version. Let's say example Utah. Okay, and we can go ahead with like a remote instance only. Let's say the dev instance is in Utah and the test instance is Tokyo. Then we can prefer export XML. Okay, so both will work anyhow. Fine. So let me show you how we are going to capture. Okay, so the left navigation menu here, just type update sets. So here, see, we do have like an under system updates as we have all this. Just go to local update sets, and then local update set. And one more question you might get over here. So the update set is nothing but we are going to capture all the configuration changes and we are moving it. Okay, so what if I'm not gonna use this update set? Let's say I forgot to create an update set and I have forgot to like capture all these things. So what will happen? There is a default update set. See here, there is a default update set which is available. Okay, so here all our changes and implementations will be captured. If you wanna move from this stuff to like in some other thing as well, some other update set as well, you can go ahead. Okay, so all our see related list, field labels and everything. But yesterday we worked on like in tables, right? See dictionary, field labels, layout and everything, choice list, everything is like in captured in default update set. If I wanna move this as well from this update set to another update set as well, I can do that. So just click on that specific update. Okay, and then here you will get like in all the details. See the XML format of this is this one, and here see there is the update set, right? So here I can change to my default to my update set. So I can click on like in this one, and then here I can move from one update set to another update set as well. Okay, so let me go back. This is one of a tip which I can say most of our guys will, forget sometimes to capture that, and they will worry about like in these things. So you can simply go ahead with like this, and you can move from one update set to another update set as well.
Priyanka,
Okay.
one question.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think I missed something in between. So when you are exporting the XML only captures the configuration, or it can also capture the records as well.
No, records is nothing but something incident records, problem records, those things will not capture. The configurations and customizations only will be captured. So if you still want these records to be like in captured, you can download the XML from here. It's nothing but exporting from this instance, and then you can
Okay.
import to like another instance. I'll show you that too.
Okay, fine. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what about like if we don't have any update set is like as a current update set is like you didn't set a update set, then it will be captured by default in a default update set. Okay, so let's go with like in creating a new update set. In the top right corner, click on new button. Okay, so now see there is like a name, state, parent, release date, description and application, right? So here see when name is nothing but the name of an update set. So that is like an 1 second, I will keep it over here. The few organizations will follow the naming set as well. Update set naming also there is a format. Okay, so first thing is like in the task which I can say. So task is nothing but let's say I need to send a notifications. Let's say example. Okay, just give a this is not a fixed format, so it will vary depending on like in the organization and depending on like in the client as well, or your TL might suggest some other stuff too. Okay, so let's say my format which I was using from like in last 2 years. Okay, this is a format which I'm working with like in my task and all my stories, which I can say story is nothing but task. Okay, so notification, so let's say I'm working with like an ITSM only, or else I'm working with like a knowledge management. So just give like a shortcut of knowledge management, and there is a story number as well for you. Let's say 1 to 3. Okay, and furthermore, there will be like in sprints as well for us. Sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint lasts for like in 2 weeks. Okay, so with that specific 2 weeks, which we are going to finish all the task actually, whatever which was assigned for that specific 2 weeks, you need to finish it. Let's say I'm in a sprint 2. Okay, and finally you can go ahead with like an ER eggshells. your name with your initials, your ID. So upon checking this name, so you have working on like the note update set is on like a notification and in knowledge management, and this is a story number, and you are in a second sprint, and then you did it, your ID. So that's how which you can follow the format of creating an update set. Okay, let's say it is like a not notifications, you have created some other stuff. Let's say example, catalog item. Or else you can give like a cat item as well as like a shortcut, but that should be understandable. Catalog item you created, and then in some other stuff, not in knowledge management, let's say now asset management. Okay, and story number, sprint, and your ID. So that's how which the format which we need to follow actually. So this is not a standard thing, it will vary sometimes. If someone asks you regarding this about like an interviews or somewhere, just tell them this format, it will be fine. Okay, and one more interview question which they will ask is nothing but this one. They will ask what are the things which will not capture, and then how many ways are to do this one. So updates it's mostly they will ask you will raise the questions on like in for sure in interview, because this is the main concept every time whenever we start a task. This is a primary thing which we just need to set up, right? So everyone will test your knowledge in updates as well. Okay, so now let's get into like in I just got like in question that what is 1 to 3 and sprint. So see here, 1 to 3 is nothing but the task number, the story number. Okay, so sprint is nothing but, let's say example, I just got a project which having like in 100 tasks. Okay, in this 100 tasks, I just had like an only 5 sprints. 5 sprint is nothing but each sprint will go with like in 2 weeks. So 5 sprints is nothing but 5 to 10 sprints which I can go ahead. Sorry, 10 weeks. So 10 weeks, within a 10 weeks, I just need to finish all the 100 tasks. 10 weeks is nothing but almost 2.5 months. So within a 2.5 months, I just need to finish 100 tasks. I, in the sense here, team needs to finish that 100 tasks. Let's say here, this 100 tasks, we do have like a numbers as well. So each task, which we call it as a story. Okay, so story 1, story 2. So we do have like in story numbers of each task. Okay, and every task we do have like a description over there. So there they are going ahead with like in what the issue or is what kind of task it is. Okay, so in that description you will find out what is the task for you. So this 1 to 3 is nothing but, so I just given like in a random number that story 1 to 3, the story number which I have given over here, and we do have like a 5 sprints, right? Okay, so let's say 2.5 months is your project. Let's say example, it will be like in more than that as well, maybe 6 months, 10 months, or 1 year, 2 years, 3 years as well. So if this sprint is done, and then the sprint is going to increase, it will be like in 15 sprint as well. So 15 to 30 weeks will go ahead. Okay, so that's how we are going to add on like in the story number and the sprint over here. Okay, so this is just like a sample or demo kind of stuff which I have given over there, but in real time projects you'll get like in these uh, actual story number and the sprints as well. So if someone asks you about like in sprint questions and in story questions, so just tell them sprint is nothing but it will go with like in 2 weeks, which we are going to work with like with that specific time frame. We are going to work on few stories. Just don't discuss directly with like in task or else assignment, or don't go with these stuff. Just tell them like in story only. So if the story is something that is a task only in your projects. Okay, just use the vocabulary of a story instead of task or anything, work or something else. Okay, so it will give you like a more professional stuff as well, and you will not be caught that you are not a experienced person in service now. Okay, so now, so that is the format which we have actually. So you can go with like any stuff. as of now you can try it out like in demo underscore. We are going ahead with like an update set, right? Update set demo underscore. Let me go with like in 1 2 3 and sprint 1 and your ID. Anything is fine. So no need to go ahead with like in directly this one. Just go ahead with like in test update set or practice update set. So you can go with that too. But whereas in real time, you can try this format. And before starting with like in in your project, if just uh, ask someone else in your team or your TL. So is there any format which you're following for the update set? So if that there is something else, they will give you. If not, you can follow the existing one, this one, or else you can give like an the actual requirement of what you are gonna work at. But this is the preferred one which you can go ahead. Okay. So now state. State is something here. We have a in progress, complete, and ignore. So in progress is nothing but this is in a working position. So whenever this is in progress, then only the customizations will be captured. Okay, and there is like in one more thing, complete is nothing but whenever the work is done. So we are going to make this update set to like incomplete, then we will retrieve from this instance. Okay, and we have a ignore is something which we will not use this from moving from like in one instance to another instance. Is nothing but simply, let's say I worked on one task and the task is no longer needed. So instead of deleting it, inactivating it, anything, just change the state to like an ignore, and that will be ignored, and you cannot retrieve from one instance to another instance. Okay, and there is a parent as well. So if you want to make this as a child, and if you want to go ahead with like in parent update search, then you can go ahead. Okay, then as of now I haven't used this one because that will not be like an much necessary for us while working. If the requirement come up with the functionality you need to work on, then this is the option which we have. You can take a another update set as a parent, and you can make it as a child as well. Okay, and here we have a release date. Release date is nothing but as I told you, right? So migration or else, this movement, the instance movement, when we need to do this, you can make it as like an the date also you can fix it, but most probably even we are not gonna use it in real time. Okay, and then and the description. So description, you can elaborate what kind of things which you are gonna capture and why you have created this update set and everything. You can go ahead. Let's say creating a notification for knowledge management, or else creating a catalog item for like an asset management. So you can add like that and you can save the form. And we know about like an application as well, which go with like in global application, which will be available for whole instance. Okay, so now see, there is a submit one button and one more is submit and make current. Even here we have top right corner. Right. So what it is about, what's the difference between this and this is nothing but submit is nothing but just like in save, submitting a form, whereas submit and make current is nothing but, let's say I'm working on the this instance, okay, 63588, and then my colleague also working on the same instance, and he created one update set and I also created one update set, and both are in a status in progress. Okay, so my work is like in started and his work also started. So which that should not be like an merge together, right? That should not be like can collide each other. So what we can do, for me, in which specific updates needs to be like in captured, I know, right? So that specific thing which I can make it as a current, and that will be available current updates set for my profile, system administrator. And then my another colleague is working with like in some other thing, let's say example default. We are not going to work with like a default anyhow in our projects. Let's say some other thing, test updates at 2 or 3 or something else. Okay, he will make as a current update set to his profile, for his profile. Then what will happen, whatever the work is going on with like in my profile will be captured in my update set, the my current update set. Okay, and whatever the work he is working on, okay, with that specific profile, and his update sets will be available as like a current update set, and his work will be captured in that current update set. Okay, so don't get confused. Current update is nothing but we might have like in multiple updates in progress. Okay, so we are just specifying that this is the update set. You need to make it as a current update set and need to capture in this update set. Okay, so that's how we are just declaring that this is the one you need to capture. That's how actually. Okay, so you can submit and make current. Now this is the current update set, even though I do have like in 15 to 20 update sets in the list. Okay, so this is the current update set, right? So whatever the work which I do now, work now, okay, the changes or the configurations will capture in this current update set only, not with the other update sets. Okay, so that's how you can check it out, this current update set as well. So even here, global. So here see update set as like a default we have, right? If I refresh it, I'll get my one. Okay, and I just got a question there. Will the update set be available for all or just for your profile? So it will be available for everyone who's having a ITIL and admin role. Okay, not for like an end users. Whoever having an instance access, they will get a update set. As a developers, for us, it should be mandatory. So that should be available for everyone. Even for you, will get it if you check it. You see, update set test instance is the current update set. Okay, so here you can check it out in which application we are and in which update set we are. Okay, this is the current update set, and if I click over here, I'll get all the in progress update sets list over here. So I can change this as well as a current update set. So now I have changed it to like a default. Okay, now the current update set will be default. See here, default. So click on this arrow and I can select this to test update set. So now the current update set is test update set only. Refresh and check it out. Now see, update set is test update set. Okay, so if I click here, the list will come up, or else if I keep the cursor and the values will display as a this pop-up. Okay, so now the current update set is like and done. So what we did, we have learned about what is update set and then how to create it. Right, so we just navigated to like a local update set and click on new, and then we give the details over there, and I clicked on save and submit and make current. Okay, so after saving it, so if I scroll down, see there is no records to display custom updates. Okay, they might be like in logs as well, and then if there is any child update sets, then update sets also will display here. But anyhow, we just need to focus on custom updates. So whatever the work which we do, okay, that will be captured over here. Okay, let's say I just got a task from my team, my TL. Let's say example. Okay, so I just need to create a table and need to apply a UI policy on that specific stuff, or else I need to create an UI policy and need to apply any kind of functionalities over there. Okay, so what can we do? We can capture, that is a demo parent table, and this what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna do like an new task over here. So existing stuff only which I'm gonna save it. So click on new. Not with it. Let me go with like an UI policies, because already the customizations is there. This demo table is not there in a new instance, right? So what I'll do, just go with like an UI policies and take the updated one. If you click on like an updated, then you will get like a latest one. You can check it out the date as well. It's like in 15 years ago. Let me go with the new one based on caller. This is the one and this is the one. These two I'm gonna capture and check it out. There is no records to display right now in this update set, test update set. Okay, so I'm just changing this name as like an RD to read only. Just doing one change over here and I'm saving it. So let's say I have created this UI policy and I saved it. Now refresh here. See, I got one more. One based on caller. So this is this one, the action whatever which insert and update I have did right, that captured in this update set. Let me add one more as well. Description. Save it and refresh here. Here you can refresh or else here you can refresh, anything is fancy. The another UI policy also added. So not only UI policy, so the things whatever which I told you before, users, groups and scheduled jobs and except these stuff. So these things will be like in everything will be captured over here. Okay, so you can export this and you can go ahead with like, and you can use any of these two and you can move from this instance to another instance. Let's say these two UI policies I have created. So you might capture like in more than this as well. Sometimes in real time we do have like in 20 updates, 40 updates, 80 updates, sometimes 100 updates also might have, depending on like in your task story. Okay, so now my task is like in done. Let's say example. So I have worked, don't like any UI policies, and then the story is like in completed. So I need to move this update set from this instance to another instance. So I do have like in one more instance which is there in my incognito, which I have logged in before. Okay, so I'm going to log to move that instance update set to this instance 121301. Okay, this is like in 63588. Okay, so this update set I'm going to move from here to there, and let's see these two your policies will be available there or not. Okay, so to do that, so we do have like in two ways, right? One is like an export XML, other is like a remote instance. And after going ahead with like in these two, I'll tell you how we are going to capture these things in another update set as well without using update set. So now this is done. We are going to change the state to in progress to complete. So now see in related links we have a merge with another update set and scan update set. Okay, so let us discuss about like a merge with update set as well. Okay, there is like in 3 to 4 update sets which I have created. Okay, let's say example 3 update sets which is available, which is I have created, and 3 belongs to only one task, one story, or is different as well. Sometimes that's not an issue. Okay, so I can merge these 3 into one update set and I can move this to another instance as well. Okay, so this option also available. Okay, so let me save the form. It's example. I'm just saying changing the state to complete as well at the same time. And here we have only 2 options and we'll get one more option if I save it. See, I got a export to XML. And we do have a merge with another update set as well. See, if I click on here, so I can select according to like in the filter and I can name it as well the merge update set. Okay, and I can save the form. Then what will happen after clicking on like and merge? Okay, so all the 3 will be merged. We can set the filter according to that and it will work on. Okay, so this if I instead of like in going ahead with like in these 3, moving one by one these 3, so if I move this merged update set, okay, then all the 3 also will come up. So we are just clubbing these 3 updates into one and we are moving it. So we can do that as well if we want. Okay, so now let's go with like an export XML. So the way which we need to go with like in the first thing, export to XML. So this we will use now. Okay, so what we need to do, just click on export to XML. The file will be downloaded. Okay, sys remote update. The backend value of this is nothing but sys underscore update set. Okay, open this. just to showcase that how the XML will look like in updates. So this is the one. Okay, so here you can understand that. See here, one field sys underscore created by who created this admin. And then when they created on, it's like a date and time. So everything will become so sys ID of the record. So everything will be like captured over here in XML format. Okay, so if we move this file to another instance, then that will be the changes whatever which we did here in UI policy will be available in the second instance as well. As of now, it's like an only 2 configurations which I did, but in real time it will be more than that. Okay, so now I have downloaded. It's there in my local machine here in my downloads in my PC. So let's get into like in this one. Let this load it. Okay, so here in the next instance, this is a second instance actually. Okay, where I'm going to move from my instance to this instance. Okay, so here just type it out like in retrieve update sets. Retrieve update sets. Just give over here. See system update sets. Under this we have a retrieve update sets. Open this. So what we did in export XML, just I have downloaded the XML and I have gone through second instance. In left navigation menu, just I have given retrieve update sets. Okay, so retrieve update sets which I have given over here. So here see there is like a no records before I haven't used it. So even Nixel also haven't tried this one because that's why there is no records to display. So see here there is a related list. I do have like an import set from import update set from XML. So this is the option which we need to click on. Say import update set from an XML file exported from another instance. Just click here. And here the first step is like an choose file and upload the file. So choose the file from the local machine, which is there in downloads. Okay, so I have added this one and then upload it. So now I got this, right? So this is a retrieve update sets. And then this is the one which I have loaded now. So the state of this is like loaded. So there is a preview state and commit state as well. So preview is the one after the loading which will do this one, and after previewing there is a commit. So if it is like in committed, then whatever the changes which we did, so those changes will sit into the another instance. So after retrieving it, what I have did, just I clicked on like a link import XML and I uploaded the file. After uploading what I have done, now I'll tell you, just check it out like in the state is loaded or not. Now open it, click on the update set, and now see there is a preview update set button here and here. Okay, if I scroll down, the 2 changes, UI policy changes is available in this update set. We moved that to this instance. See here, 12130, and I have created this in this instance, test update set, right? So now click on preview update set. And while you are previewing, let's say there is a field called testing field. The testing field is not available in this instance, but anyhow you have date mandatory or read only something over there. So at these kind of scenarios, you'll get a error over here while you're previewing. So you can accept the error or else you can skip it and you can check it out later and you can do accordingly. Okay, so I have previewed it, and then the next option is like, and see the state is previewed now. Before it was loaded. and you will get like in how many inserted, how many updated, how many deleted, how many collisions happen. Okay, how many total as well, you'll get it. So as of now, which we have inserted, okay, because these two UI policies is not available before. So if there is like an existing UI policy which I'm moving, then it will go with the updated. Okay, now click on commit updates it. So now we are committing it. So committing is nothing but we are making these UI policies to sit in UI policy table. Okay, so before we just moved from there to updates at table. Now these updates will go and sit in a respective tables as well, whatever which you have done. So now this is committed. So let's see now the UI policy is available in this instance or not. Let me refresh the page and open UI policies and check it out those two updates which I captured recently. UI policies, type the UI policies over here and then open the UI policies. Okay, just click on like an update. So now see RB is able tutor. See these two. I have changed this to like a description and read only, right? So those two is like an available here. So this is the one which I have done. Okay, and this is the one more thing which I have done. The UI policies came over here. Okay, so that's how which we are going to capture multiple configurations and customizations, whatever which we did from one instance to another instance. Okay, so this is the one which we work with like an export XML. So after importing, uploading, preview and commit. So done. Okay, so now let's get into like in the next way is like a remote instance. Okay, so in the second instance, just type it out like in remote instance. See, team deployment we have, development we have, remote instance, open this. So as of now here, see, we just need to create a connection or else which we need to configure something. So give the name of a instance over here. Let's say I'm moving from like in dev. So my instance is like in dev and I'm moving it to like in from dev to, let's say this is like in test. Okay, and short description give something. Testing dev or something. So give your URL of year one. Okay, and username of year and then password of year as well. Okay, so after giving this, just the setting will be like in done, and then we do have like in dev instance. Let me give this one more. Let me show you. This will be configured by your team, TL or someone else. It will be already it will be there for sure. Okay, no need to do all these things as it is like in PDI. So you just need to set up this one. Okay, I have given my password as well. Okay, and save it. So authentication something is like in coming up. The password is I have given is like incorrect only, I guess. Let me try again. Let's open my instance. Let me check the password over here. Manage. So let's have this. Just give the correct password and save it. So now what will happen? So see, here I do have a retrieve complete update set, right? So this is the one which if I go back to like an, remote instance, so this will come up as a dev. If you want to go ahead with like an test, you need to go with like an, one more instance also you need to move on, you can go ahead. Okay, open this. And then here, see, there is a retrieve complete update sets. So whenever I click here, whatever the updates is like in completed in this instance, okay, that will be retrieved here. Click here, retrieve complete update sets. So now it's done. Click on close, and update set logs is available. Test update set is not retrieved since it is already existing as a remote. Yeah, so already we have done this, right, by using like a remote instance. Okay, so that's how it will be. It will not come up. So you can try it out by your end. Create one more update set as well, because time is running out. So create one more update set, and then after clicking on like and complete, you can retrieve it. Let me show you now only. Just maybe for like in few more minutes, guys. So to check this one, I'll create one more update set, because the previous update set which we have utilized already. Okay, so testing remote instance. So better understanding, I am creating this one. Just make it as a thing, and let me capture this one. I'm adding an extra remote over here, update it, and then check it out whether that's captured or not. Yeah, see, this is click and captured. Now move this to complete and save it. Now go back to the instance, refresh it once, and then click on retrieve complete updates. That will come. Close it. See, retrieve updates that we got testing remote instance. I got this one. So now the state will be already in a preview state. Now you commit this. Commit updates it. If you want, you can preview it again as well, and you can commit it. Commit updates it. Now close it. Did you see? Now the inserted is like in 0 and updated is like in 1, because the UR policy whatever which we have done before is like an already there in this instance. There is just an update there. The target name is remote is added. So this is an update. This is not a create. That's why updated as 1. So if I refresh this UI policy, then the name also will be added over there. Okay, so that's how which we will. Let me check that as well. With this name, the UI policy, whether the name got updated or not by using remote instance also, it will work. So that's how about like in update such concept actually. So see, the name is exactly same as which we updated, right, as a remote. So the update also which we have done. So not only creating, updating, deleting everything which we can capture and can be moved from one instance to another instance. So for remote instance, what we need to do, the setup which will be already there for you in your project instance, whereas it is like in PDI, so you need to do ahead. While practicing this, just take it out like in your colleague or else email ID, and you can create one more instance as well, or else you can take your co-fellows or batch person's IDs and you can check it up as well. Anything is like and fine. Okay, or else you can create one more new instance for practicing this. That's fine. So that's up to you. Just go with your thing. So setup, which will be already there. So just set up by giving like in the details of another instance, URL, user ID, and password. And after that, click on like in retrieved complete update set. Okay. Updates it, and then you will get the updates at whatever the updates is like in complete state in your instance, the previous instance, and then select the update set and click on like in preview. And if you preview, if you want to do it, just click on like an again preview button and then commit it. If it is like an commit, then that is done. Okay, so that's how which we will do remote instance. And then export XML is this way and remote instance is like in this way. And one more thing is like in pending, that is like in how to capture these things. Okay, so let me go back to like in, just bear me for like in few more minutes. I'm gonna close it. So just go back to like in my instance. Let's say incident records will not capture, right? So if I want to capture this into my update sets. So let's say example, let me filter planning. So how many on this? Okay, let me go back. We go ahead with like in moderate. Okay, so I just need to move these records from this instance to another instance. What I can do, just click on like in these column options. Okay, and here we have a export XML and export it. That will be downloaded to your PC. Download it. Now what you need to do, just go to the another instance, because this is like an instance table, right? In another instance also, go back to like an instance, your another instance, and then go to the table, which table you are gonna do ahead. Incident all, make it as a favorite, it will be available. Okay, so here just click on the column options and here see import XML. Click in import XML and add the file. See, incident priority is equal to 3. 3 is nothing but moderate. Upload. Now all the records will be added over here. Okay, so before the records might be like in something else, now the new records also will be added. Okay, so that's how which we can import the records and which we can export it. Not only for this, you can try it out for like in user schedule jobs or anything. And there is like in one more thing which we can do instead of like in this export XML and remote instance and this one, there is like in one more thing which we will do customization by using like in button add to update set. So we can add one button over here in every table. Let's say example, I need to add this record to update set. So that is like an UI action actually. So just like an update, resolve, delete, and follow. And here see we do have like a related list as well. You can add the related list as well, add to update set one button by configuring by using script in UI actions we have. So by clicking on that also we can do that. So okay, so that's how which we will work with like an update sets. Okay, and I just got a question from the chat box. In PDI, can I set up different instances, etc.? So can, no, we cannot actually. Why? In the sense, PDI is nothing but an instance only, right? So dev is one instance, UAT is one instance, and prod is one more instance, right? So we cannot set up the same kind of dev, prod, and UAT in the existing instance, because this PDI is, let's say this, assume that this is a dev instance or UAT or else prod or something else. The another instance also will be a, might be like in some other instance, right? So internally this is an instance and you cannot rename it to like in another instance. So doing that is a kind of like an, your name is like in, let's say ABC, and you are renaming it to like in another person, and you are moving your same updates to like in your instance only again. So that's not our thing. We just need to go ahead with like in another instance and need to do this. The thing is like in, you are downloading the XML and then you are going ahead with like in the same instance and you are retrieving it again. So it's all, the updates are already there in instance and you are trying to add one more time. So that's not a fair thing, right? So that we are not gonna do. So that's all about like an update such concept actually. So let me know your questions on this so that which I can clear.
Priyanka, I have a
Yes.
question.
Mm.
let's say we have two update sets and both are in progress.
Mm.
There are two different users who are working on those two update sets respectively.
Mm.
Now, these two update sets need to be moved to another instance.
Okay.
Now, if they are moved one by one,
Mm-hmm.
things might get overridden because these users are working on the same table. That's, let's suppose, incident table.
Mm-mm.
How to differentiate or how to avoid this situation so that the changes do not get overridden by both the update sets.
So what will happen? Let's say I'm working with like in few fields. I have created like a mandatory read only, and the other person created like in some other stuff. At that time, this overriding will won't happen. Let's say I have done something in one specific table, and that is like in one more condition depending on specific thing, and the same thing is happening. So now we will get like in errors while we are doing with the preview. That's what if there is like any mismatching or collisions or overriding happens, so that everything will come up whenever I click on preview button. So they will there we can check it out like in what kind of errors which we get it, and what's the solution which we can do. We can discuss with the other person, and we, if it is like an essential, will accept it. If not, we will skip the thing. So we'll, by discussing, we'll get like in one idea according to the requirement only. So that's how if there is like any bugs or errors is like in coming whenever we click on like in preview button over there. So it's just about like in accepting it, or else we can skip the action. So we do have like in whenever we click on like in the preview button, so we'll get like in all the error messages as well in when we scroll down actually. So we'll check it out like in what kind of error it is, what kind of bug it is, and we will accept and we will skip it. So that kind of thing which we can do.
Okay. Sorry, I have another question on the
Go
same
ahead.
concept.
Mm.
We have an update set 1 and update
Okay.
set 2. Both
Mm.
are in progress.
Okay.
Now, in the settings where there's a globe icon, there we define which update set
It's
we
current
want to use
update set.
currently.
Yeah.
Correct. So, all the changes, configuration changes, will be saved in that update sets
Mm.
that is, mapped by us
Correct.
in the instance. It doesn't depend if any other set is in progress or
Yes.
still running. Correct?
Yes, it will not.
Okay, so it will only get updated. The configuration will only get updated on the update set which is actually selected.
Correct. In a current update set only it will capture.
Okay, all right, got it.
Yeah. But one more question in the chat box. Will it be Tokyo or written in one second? For exams, will it be Tokyo or written? It will still Tokyo. When will be the last day or before written? Is that for like in CSA exam which you are asking, Kemi? For ITism, for whatever the certification might be, just go with like in the latest version actually, Utah. Okay, so if still you are good with like in Tokyo, that's fine, but there will be like a nothing much difference will be available for like in Utah and Tokyo. Okay, so just go with like in the Utah only. And the last day of like in Utah is nothing but that was released for like in 2 months back. Still 2 to 3 to 4 months was like an available. Okay, so you can go with like in Utah right now. Okay, so yeah, all good. Any further questions?
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
this is Vijay
Hey,
again.
yes, Vijay.
For the explanation of that the previous question, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, I have a doubt. See,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, the dev environment and as well as with the test and prod, there are three different instances, right?
Correct.
Anyway, the prod should not be the same. I mean, the content, because it is a real-time data which is available in the TAN and the client is using or customers are using
Exactly.
the prod.
Right.
So the dev and the test environments, whatever the instances which we have,
Mm-hmm.
so it has to be the same, right? When we are updating any update set or whatever,
Exactly.
or
Whatever.
you get any conflict something in that way, or how exactly these things work?
So whatever which we implement in dev, so that should be there in test and that should be there in prod actually. Let's
Yeah,
say
that's
there is like
everything should be same, right?
exactly, that should be same. And in test environment and dev environment, they might be like in some other, practices stuff or experiments kind of stuff also might be there, which is in inactive.
Yeah, the
Okay,
most
so
probably the pre-prod and the prod would be this, almost it should be the same.
exactly. We just need to, as a, you know, uh, best practice, which I can say, everything which we need to maintain, whatever which is available in prod, that should be there for sure in test and dev. Okay, that's what we'll do cloning sometimes. So cloning is something, prod data and prod configurations, development, implementation, whatever which we do, so which we are keeping up on the test and dev as well, and the previous data will be erased and the prod data will be come up. It's just like a copy paste of a prod actually. So that we will do to maintain the same data in all the instance.
But in the dev environment, we don't have, I mean, dev or testing environment, we don't have that real data, right?
No, that's dummy data
We
only.
will have our, different data, but that it should not be the same, right? Because that is a client's data. I mean, sometimes the client will not provide the data, but we should not use it.
What kind of data it is which you are, referring?
Whatever, whatever it is in the prod.
Yeah,
I
if it
think
is like an, yeah,
I think we are talking about configurations, not data, because data
No,
definitely the
the
production.
configuration, see, obviously, the client is having some requirement. We just need to add some table, or we need to do any policy or whatever. There will be multiple requirements, right?
yes.
So as a sprint, like we are having the multiple requirements, and that is we are following with the stories, which is every 2 weeks, and we
Mhm.
are having some. So maybe we have finished out of 10, we have finished 5, and
Mhm.
that 5 has to be maybe merged into the test environment,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And that the 5 will be going to the again. Once if the test is done, then again it will go into the prod, right?
Yeah, of course it will. So the
Yeah.
process is like an exactly same. The question I got you. So there will be like a few confidential data which will be available from the client, and the data is not available in dev and test. Yes, sometimes it is. Then what we'll do if in that case we will take it as like a dummy data will be available. Okay, we do have like a dummy data or demo data which we call it. Okay, so which we can get it while we activate the plugins, and there will be like an add demo data as well, so that will be added. In prod it will be like in live data only, the whatever the data which is available from the client, that will be available. But whereas in test and dev we might have like a demo data here. So whenever we are implementing any development activities or something else, we will test with the demo data only. Okay.
Yeah, that's. And we generally, do we get any conflicts when we are merging something like this? So what kind of
Sometimes we
conflict?
will. Yeah, I'll tell you. So what kind of conflicts is nothing but, let's say I'm working with like a same table and some other guy also working with like a same table, and I have added one field configurations over there and that field is not available in a second instance. Then I'll get a error while previewing. Okay, and there is like any local update is available. Let's say already the update set is like done, and then the new update is already there in a new instance, the second instance. Then it will showcase us there is like in one new local update is available. It will showcase an error in while getting a preview. That is like in one case. And the second thing is like in whenever we are importing like in records from one place to like another place, if there is like any different fields is like a not there. Let's say in dev instance one field is available but that is a reference field, but whereas if I go with like in second instance, the field is not reference, it might be like in string or choice or something else. So the type of a field also might be conflict sometimes, so which whenever we click on preview, will all these things will come up, so we will check it out like in those things, and if it is like in required, we will accept the change. If not, we will skip it. Okay, or else
Oh.
we will keep only those stuff, whatever which we skip it, and then we will work with like in dev again, and we will tally if it is not necessary, we will change the thing and we will do the updates at move again. So that's how which we can go ahead.
Okay, we have a skip option which we can do that.
Yeah, we can skip it or we can accept.
As you said that like in the second environment, obviously, I mean, if there is something which is added
Mm,
on the first instance, we don't have that.
yes.
So at that time when we are pushing the new, when we are developed something in dev environment, and
Mm,
then it is not available in the test. So
correct.
when we are obviously we will get a conflict.
Exactly.
Okay, understand. Yeah, when we are merging, sorry, I just
Yeah,
using, I'm using.
that's fine. I got you. I understood.
Yeah.
So that's all clear.
Because obviously, see, my point is like the process is same,
Mm,
but how we are merging or how we are doing the things is like a little bit got confused.
yeah. Now clear, right?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Fine, guys. Any further questions?
Priyanka, I have
Yes.
one question regarding. I tried creating a table and the
Yes.
dependent field. So,
Correct. Let me give the access for sharing. You share that and show me, please.
okay. Fine.
Good that you remind me that.
Okay. Just let me know whenever it's
Yes, I
visible.
can. Yes.
Okay. So this is one field state, and this field code is dependent on state.
Okay.
Now, what I've done is
Code, there is nothing else there, right? Click on code, none.
so
What are
it's
the
there.
values which okay, it's not
I'm
coming
just
up.
I'm sharing it to you. So there are 8 choices what I've created,
Mm-hmm.
and dependent value is from the state.
Okay.
Now, somewhere something is missing.
Yeah.
There
Now
are,
go to the dependent field, the second one, second
okay.
tab which is there. You have given a state. Okay, scroll down. Are you giving, exactly the backend value of this dependent value? Bangalore, Delhi, and Gujarat?
Backend value. You mean to say value, correct?
Yes,
This,
exactly. Yes.
just a minute.
Yeah, here it's different, right?
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, I need to give this value. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
BLR, DEL, just give this and write up. If still you're having, just ping me.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. I'll do it offline
Yeah,
then.
sure.
Thanks.
That's what actually I told you, right? We need to copy paste it. Sometimes, the lowercase and uppercase also will change and that won't work. Okay.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
good.
you mentioned that we can also practice the UI policy. So I'm just building up
Mm.
this table.
Mm.
So it's just a draft, I guess. So I'll do.
Great. It was looking good actually, internet banking and everything. Just go to the deposits.
As of now, I have nothing
Okay.
here.
Okay, fine.
So I'll try to build up something.
Sure. Happy to say this.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay then. Okay, guys, all good. Shall we wrap up then?
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you, guys.